Xenophobia has been around since the beginning of the history of mankind. This has been reflected in all genocides that have occurred worldwide, in which only for being foreigners has condemned people to death. And even until today, xenophobia takes place in the world, but there are some ways in which a foreigner can be considered as part of the country. Like, for example, one of them is to adopt the habits and the culture that the locals have. Another one is to learn the language, expressions, and the meanings that some words have for the locals. Finally, the love of the country is one of the most important things to be considered part of this country. Adopting habits of people of a country is very important to be considered part of it, as this demonstrates an interest in the culture and traditions, allowing the foreigner to more easily identify with other people and also truly understand the interests and tastes that the locals have. Learning the culture of the country where the foreigner is also important because he could know the roots of the people, and so he can know how to act with them, because the fact of not knowing the culture could generate conflicts, because abroad could have attitudes that offend the locals, and this will cause an immediate rejection. One of the most important things to be considered by the natives as part of a country is sharing the same language, as without it, it would be impossible for any kind of communication, which in fact limit to the relationships abroad may have with the rest of the people, which will end in him away from the rest of the population. But in many cases, speaking the same language is not enough, as there is a factor that is also very important, that in this case would be to adapt the talking with the same type of expressions that the other people have, because this is the only way in which you can mimic with the rest of the people, besides that knowing the expressions allow you to fully understand what people want to say to you. Finally, one of the basic points by which a foreigner can be recognized as part of the rest of the population of a country is to love the country, culture, and people in the same way as the locals do, because these provide proof true interest to be part of the society, and people will understand that the foreigner shares the same feelings that they have for their homeland. Possibly this point is the most difficult to prove to people, and this doesn't happen from one day to another. For this to happen, it must take several years, where the people can see that the foreigner has been unconditionally with the country and its people, and that he has also tried to do the things the best way to benefit the locals. Therefore, I believe that those are the key points for a foreigner should apply if he is interested to be accepted and well received, because if the foreigner do these three things, like talking the same language, adapting to their new culture, and love the country, will make the locals understand the foreigner that he is very interested of being part of the new country where he is living. And I think that is the essential part of being of if some foreigner want to become part of a new society where he is involved now.